What is Romans 8:26 really speaking about when we talk about the groanings of the Holy Spirit? For one, we cannot neglect verse 27 because verses 26 and 27 is relative to the relationship and the will of God in our lives and how the Holy Spirit plays a major role in this being fulfilled. The Bible tells us in verse 26 of Romans 8 that the Holy Spirit is the one that is interceding. We need to make very clear here that it's not the believer, but it is the Spirit of God that is groaning on behalf of the believer. The Bible also goes on to tell us that the groaning is deeper than the words of man. And it's important that we take this seriously because, as verse 27 says, when the Spirit of God is groaning on our behalf, He is interceding for the will of God that is already pre-planned and purposed for our lives. So the groanings is not necessarily related to the speaking of or speaking in tongues or praying in tongues, because here it's not the believer that is speaking or praying, it is the Holy Spirit. But here's the point: how do we get to this place? We need to understand that we need to create, or we need to make time to spend with God. We need to get to the secret place where we are allowing the Spirit to dig deeper into our lives and also to cancel the prayers that we may have uttered before God, because many a times we do not know what to pray for. Those groanings of the Holy Spirit is relative to the perfect will of God in our lives. Again, we do not always pray the perfect will of God in our lives. Thank God for the Holy Spirit, because it is the Holy Spirit that takes over and begins to intercede for us the perfect will of God. The carnal nature in us will always have a problem in praying the perfect will of God. And in understanding this, we should be more appreciative of the Holy Spirit dwelling in us, because there is a purpose of the Holy Spirit when it comes to prayer. So again, the Holy Spirit is interceding on our behalf with groans that we cannot understand with regard to God's perfect plan for our lives.